We're live. Welcome to the Money GPS Live. Thank you all for being here today. As always, I'm going to get everything sorted out on my end over here. All right, we got people in the house already. Good stuff. All right, I got the Instagram set up. If you're on Instagram, it's all good. But you will miss the charts. You will miss anything I show on the screen, but anything is better than nothing. All right, Instagram is going. We are going. Hello, hello, everybody. Coming here for the truth. Excellent. Get TikTok going. Everybody loves TikTok. Do some dancing. It's weird to open up this app and see random people's faces. By the way, if anybody has children, I found, let me show you guys this actually. Strangest thing. Can everybody see me? All right. If you have TikTok, never allow a child or teenager, anything, to use this app, in my opinion. If you could see this right here, look at this random person. I don't even know what this is. The videos automatically play, by the way, okay? In this corner here, there's a live button. If you push that button, you're immediately in somebody's live. You don't know who they are. You didn't click on them, and you just scroll. Like you could just go like this, like scroll through, and you're seeing people's lives, and it is extremely inappropriate, okay? I'm just telling you that. Don't ever, you know, for children or anybody, actually, it's quite inappropriate. It's crazy. I couldn't believe it. I clicked that button. It's not good. Anyway, that's just me. Instagram, how are you guys? Got people in the house. Today we're talking about Evergrande. But of course, as always, you're welcome to ask any question. Everything is acceptable. I'm just getting my end, the control center set up over here. All right. Okay. Finally set up, ready to go. Good observation about the app. Yes. People don't know about that. People don't know about that in TikTok. It's not, you know, not some very nice things. Hey, TikTok, how are you? Evergrande will be great if they flush the TikTok clowns out from the market. Hello from Boston. Should I buy more silver or brown? I don't know what brown is, to be honest with you. I don't know what that reference is. Compost? Hey, if it's compost, I'm all for that. Let me fix this. Is that better? Getting a little bit grainy. Let's go, let's go. We came here for the truth. Too old? Actually, there's a lot of stuff on TikTok that's actually good. People doing gardening, people doing all kinds of stuff. So there is good stuff, but it's just really inappropriate, particularly for younger audience. So that it's marketed towards the younger audience, and yet it actually, in my opinion, is extremely inappropriate. But that's you know, besides the issue. Get rid of the TikTokers out of this market, crush them. Yeah, people on there, like, so I get messages all the time from people on TikTok saying, like, literally the questions are constantly like, which stock should I buy? Which stock should I buy? So imagine they're asking me that. They're going to go to every single channel, which stocks, and they're going to get advice from people that are telling them, you know, buy this stock, buy that stock. And who am I to tell somebody what stock they should buy? It's crazy. Evergrande will be bailed out. Some are saying no. You know, they don't want to, you know, they might nationalize them in a way, and they might excavate parts of it. I'm going to show you, I have the chart pulled up right now, ready to go. So when more people get in the house, I'm going to show you the chart and show you how bad it has been. But what came before the bad? I'll show you. In Australia, many banks and ATMs are closing every week. Where are we heading? So this is kind of going on all over the place. I mean, no matter what, you're seeing it. And that to me shows you a change, not just in, the banks and the ATM specifically, but, directly. So I went to the dollar store. Okay. I went to the dollar store, for the first time in a long time. Okay. So I walked in, I just needed batteries. I walked to the cashier and I realized there are no cashiers. It's all self-checkout. I didn't see an employee. Okay. So I did the thing really quickly, 2 seconds, I'm done. Now, this is going on all over the place. You don't interact with a human anymore. So that's why if you think about it, I physically went to a store. I looked for the product on the shelf. I pulled it off the shelf. I brought it to the cash. I hit the button, punch it in, put it in my pocket. We're done. So now a lot of people are saying, if I'm not getting a little bit of service or interaction with a human, I might as well just buy it on the internet. I can get it delivered to me sometimes in a matter of hours. If I just order it at the right time, if I don't need it that specific second, I'm going to do it that way. And that's what a lot of people are doing. And that's the change. So the stores realize this. A lot of these big businesses, they've got hundreds of locations, thousands of locations. They're trying to basically, they have the foresight. They see the future. The future is no human interaction. The future is online. The future is warehouses. The future is robots and automation. So they have to essentially eliminate a lot of positions. And they're doing this right now at a pretty quick pace. 2020 accelerated that to such a high degree. So when you're talking about the bank specifically, you're going to interact with your robo-advisor, which is your app. The app is going to put you all into the exact same thing. Come on, it's an ETF. It's a mutual fund maybe, but it's made of ETFs. They're not even doing anything, no management whatsoever. And you're going to go to the bank. You're going to interact with an iPad. You're not going to interact with that person anymore. I remember buying precious metals back in, what was that? About a decade ago anyway. And I remember walking in to the bank branch, and this was like the main branch. Anyway, so we're talking about a big branch. A lot of people were there. And I walk in and I was greeted by a customer service representative. Hello, David. How are you? How have you been this week? How's this? How's that? Listen, let me help you out. Where do you want to go? You want the precious metals? Come with me. Let me take you there. See, they received me in and they said, here you go. Here's the lineup. There you are. That type of service is so rare today. I don't even know if it's still there. It's probably just a machine or something. But the point is, if you're not getting that service anymore, well, then people are going to choose an alternate way to do business. They're going to say, if I'm not going to get greeted by that person, if I'm not going to, have somebody that's really truly a real customer service person, which is very rare to find, then I'm going to do things a different way. And so we see that a lot today. And they're just going this route. And I think that for the banking industry and in general, there's a lot of changes. And those changes mean less jobs, more automation, more robotics, and so on. Now, that is the most long-winded possible answer for your question, but I hope you appreciate it. All right. Now, since my rant began, there has been about 1 million comments. So let's see what we got. How many tentacles does Evergrande have in the greater market? Yeah, good question. Really good question. And we're finding out about that now. The thing about China is it's a really, really closed market. It's a really closed environment. So we don't know all the truth. But I know that when you've got a company that is worth billions and billions, like I had a comment today, Evergrande is small. Evergrande is a small company. You don't know anything. You don't know anything. The bots came out on this one, and they were straight up bots. Okay? I'm going to show you. I see your comment about TikTok, and I agree. Instagram. Hey, we're talking about this. So you're asking if there's a stock market crash around the corner. I'm not so sure, but 6 of the biggest banks in the United States say that there is a correction coming. 6 of the biggest banks have said that. So it's not just me. It's not me saying that. It's 6 of the biggest banks. And it means, a correction. A correction to these people means 5%. A correction could mean 10%. It's less than 20%. Okay? I don't know what's going to happen, but certainly it's looking real weak. China won't allow. So that's not how it works in terms of, I know like a lot of people say that, and just like the Federal Reserve won't allow a crisis. We need to understand that a crisis offers an opportunity. Crisis doesn't mean they have lost control. Please don't think of it like that. If Evergrande was failing and they didn't want us to know about it, we would not know about it. If Lehman was failing and they didn't want us to know about it, we would have never have known. It just would have showed up in the news. Next day, it's gone. That's how it works. You know, how many times have there been something huge that has happened and we find out because of a Freedom of Information Act request? What about the fact that the Federal Reserve gave $16 trillion out to institutions all around the world? We found out through a limited audit of the Federal Reserve. That's massive. 16 trillion. Now it's not so big because they throw trillions around like it's nothing. But at that time, that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. It still is, in my opinion, today. But the point is, if they don't want us to know about it, we wouldn't know. It's just the way it is. The media simply won't cover it. Okay? It'll happen. The event will happen. The event passes. And that's all. So always think a little, you got to think a little bit differently about this, okay? Everything we see, those breadcrumbs are being laid out for us. Okay? Like little cookies being left out for Santa. All right. Let's actually go. If you guys don't mind, let's share my screen over here. If you're on TikTok or you're on Instagram, I'll only be showing this for a moment, so hang in there. And I'll describe what I'm seeing as I go over it, okay? So we're looking at Evergrande right now. Hope you can see this on your screen. Okay, so this is a monthly chart. And what we're doing is going back. So the chart goes all the way back December 2012. Okay, December 2012. Okay, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. We're moving all the way to 2016. Okay, it's fluctuating within a few dollars of itself here. And then we start to get this point, 2017. It starts breaking out month after month of these huge acceleration in price up to this point over here where it peaks out around October, November of 2017. Since 2017, this stock has been falling. Look at that. Do you see it? It's been falling, it's been falling, it's been falling. Now, it really accelerated. The pain accelerated earlier this year in 2021. You see, we are now back down. So imagine 2021, it's sitting at about $16. Now it's $2.50 in that period of time. If you look at the market cap of the company today, the market cap of this company, I believe it's $35 billion now. Okay, I don't have that in front of me of what it was, if it says here. No. Imagine what it was even the beginning of this year. This is a big company. Is it the biggest company in the world? No. Is it big enough to create a problem? $300 billion of debt? Of course. Now compare $300 billion of debt to the $300 trillion of total debt in the governments that the governments have. Is that a huge percentage? No. But is it significant? Of course. Guys, subprime is contained. Don't worry. Subprime is contained. okay? It's just a little problem with subprime mortgages, small percentage of the total. Give it some time, we'll fix it. You remember that? We can't trust what they say. Is this going to be the Lehman 2.0? I don't know. I don't know. But look how crazy this is. That something this big can go down this fast. That's all I'm saying. That's all. While we're here, you can take a look at Tesla. I'm going to show you this is a monthly. Maybe we'll look at a daily. I want to see what's been happening over the last month. Oh, no, I really messed this one up. It's going to take me a second here. Because this one has been all over the place. Kathy Woods sold something like $250 million worth of $250 million worth of shares recently between her funds. Then again, she's got a lot of Tesla. So it's, you know, her funds are carrying a lot of Tesla. But you can see this. It's actually looking quite healthy right now. Hello to everybody that's come in on Instagram. Hello, hello, hello. One of my favorite channels on YouTube. Yes. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Tasha. We're going to talk about the Federal Reserve in a moment. You could see what has happened. I mean, it's been, let me see that. It's still, you know, slowing down a bit, but I mean, 759 looking pretty good as far as they're concerned. They don't even know what's going on in their own company sometimes. I believe that. But anyway, different situation. Now, we're talking about what has gone on with the Federal Reserve, the Fed presidents, right? You saw that? Crazy, right? They're coming out. I have the article up somewhere in here. Fed officials own securities it was buying during the pandemic, raising more questions about conflicts. First of all, CNBC, you weren't watching the Money GPS clearly because I've been talking about this. Fed Chief Powell and other officials own securities central bank bought during the pandemic. And I had another one in here. I'll cover this in a video. I know you can't see what I'm looking at. I'm just wanted to cover a few things. I mean, you're seeing they own these things and now it's coming to light. But as I said in the post, I made a post on the community or blog section of the channel today. And, you know, let's get real here. The Federal Reserve isn't there for you. The Federal Reserve isn't even there to pump up the stock market. They're not. They're not. They are not there to pump up the stock market. If you understand what happened, the whole origin of this institution, you would realize that. People said the Federal Reserve won't allow a collapse. But that shows that the people that say this are new to investing. Or they're new to history. They're new to that. So you got to look into it. You really do. It's important. Never got a bell and been with you for years. So if anybody is trying to get on the Money GPS, you're not getting the videos, you're not getting the lives. If you go to my channel where the subscribe is, okay, go to the subscribe area, there's a bell. You hit the bell and that has changed over it was 2021 when it changed. So you go to the bell icon and there's like 3 options. I think it's the top one that says notify me every time. You have to select that. I don't know why they do this. I mean, it's just making it more difficult for everybody. Make sure you select that, notify me every time. In the same situation, you also want to be an insider. Okay, the insiders is totally free. I'm doing this to notify you because I'm tired of the YouTube's games. I'm tired of it. So when you get on the insiders, not for the lives, I don't do that for the lives, but 5 days a week, I email you the video of the day. That's just the way it is. I mean, I procrastinated on this such a long time. I thought, who cares, whatever. But you know what? This is the way it's got to be. So themoneygps.com, you sign up for the insiders. I've got thousands of people that are on that. I blast out that email 5 days a week. It's not spam. There's no garbage. It's the video of the day. And the reason I'm doing this is to get around that censorship. Okay, I'm trying to bring in the outside traffic. All right. Tons of comments, guys. Love that. And I love the fact that you guys are chatting amongst each other too. That's great. This is a community, right? We're all about the truth. That's what we are about. They're a part of your head that phase a bit out of your green screen. It's weirding me out. Something's happening here. Oh, like that? What about that? Look at that. It's like a video game. I'm glitching. I'm glitching. Here, let's try this. How's that? Better? All right. This is so choppy. I don't know if you guys are seeing this. Like it's... Anyway, who cares? Hello, hello. All fixed now. All right. Wall Street is nothing more than a wealth extraction tool. Yeah, people don't realize it in the time because they see their, the increase and so on in their 401k. They think, hey, this is great. But there are times in which they realize, there's a reason why it's like this. Susan, as always, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support. You're saying you appreciate me, but I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody that's here as well, of course, because I could talk to the wall, but it's better to interact with people, of course, like-minded people. I've been really doing a lot of research, more research into gardening and stuff, home gardening, and really thinking about what I want to do come springtime. Like I said, I want like sort of a gardening for dummies, step by step. Here's how to make food at home. Here's how to grow food at home. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whole playlist, everything you need to know, and give options. So, okay, if you don't have this much money, you would do this. If you have a little bit extra cash to spend, you would do this. If you want to do a more DIY, you would do this. If you'd rather just spend a little bit of money and get it done, do this. So I want to make that. I'll talk about all the prices that have been paid. Of course, right now everything's kind of wacky, so that's a different situation. But I think that would be extremely valuable to people. I know that the views will be terrible on it, but that's okay because it'll be in the playlist, and if people want to check it out, it's there. So it'll be there. I'm excited for that. Next year, next spring, it'll be something to look forward to. Yeah, steel so high, iron ore so low. It's just like earlier on, like during 2020, we were seeing the actual the timber, like the actual trees, basically that those people growing the trees. They said our price hasn't gone up, but the lumber had gone up, and it's because of the processing. Where they were processing it, there's a shortage of people, this and that. So that's where the prices were increased. It could be the same situation, though I don't have 100% of the detail on there. Ah, yes, today is the 17th, isn't it? Okay, so stay tuned for that. I haven't checked it out because remember, 2 years after the repo event occur, exactly 2 years later, you find out who the primary dealers were that were involved. So that's literally today. So I guess we'll find out tomorrow, or maybe it is today. Either way, it's 2 years afterwards. And I'm going to, obviously, but let me say right now, I think it's going to be the usual suspects. I think it's going to be the JP Morgan, the Goldman Sachs, the Bank of America, Wells Fargo, whoever. All the big banks. So we'll see. I will definitely be bringing that to you. Trust me. Michael Burry's back. Okay, we got some excitement. Will be obviously. Let me open that up right now. Michael Burry, Cassandra. Let's see what Cassandra's saying. I don't want to forget. What's happening here? Did he delete? Oh, okay. There's literally only one post. Now, Evergrande. He's saying, let me just show you what's happening on my screen. It's easier if I just show you. Let's go. Let's share the screen. Here we go. Let's look. Let's look together. All right. So Michael Burry says, read this thread. And this is the thread. Evergrande, why most analysis is dead in the water and how best to understand and navigate what's happening. Both the nihilists and alarmists are getting it wrong. Let's start by understanding this. What is happening is a result of a CCP-initiated policy change to curb leverage. It started a while back and has seen other defaults, including SOEs. What are the specific policy changes? Let's go in here. Let me see if I could just get you a good synopsis. It was really not too early, more leverage. One common practice is the construction companies. The bid landed prices significantly higher than the market. Didn't matter to them because they got the risks transferred to the flat buyers and the banks that financed the purchase. Of course, just the same way as in Canada. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just reading through this. I think it's important. If Burry's pointing it out, we got to pay attention. There's another problem that escapes most China analysts as a result of years of seeking easy growth through construction and leverage. The misallocation of capital was capital starving more innovative and high-tech sectors, and two, creating a headwind for rebalancing towards a more consumption-driven growth. At some point, reining in lending to the RE sector became vital in order to address the structural issues. Okay. This is a long one, guys. I didn't realize this was this long. The guy's writing a story here. Okay, I'm gonna have to read this up. If you haven't seen it already, definitely check it out. Just go to Michael Burry on Twitter. I'm just trying to see if there's any sort of conclusion. It's not only Evergrande's credit that is collapsing, but the whole high yield market. Contagion is at work. China's high yield is some 10% away from its March 20 low. That's not benign. Huh. Contagion beyond. Wow, guys, this is huge. Okay, I got some more reading to do, and I think we all have to do more research. So I don't think you guys want to see me just reading this off to you, but that's big. And it comes perfectly timely. By the way, whoever mentioned that, thank you. We got a problem. Evergrande. This is huge, guys. This is really huge. Thank you, GPS Insider. What's your argument? What's your suggested superior trade? What are we talking about here? I'm not sure what reference is. We got unicorns, kittens, cats and kittens maybe, and a couple rainbows too. We need that. And if I were to put it on the back over here, I'd get a few complaints, but I'm glad it's in the comment section. And why? What is it about the kittens? What is it about the kittens? I've had some people say, like, please don't ever do that. I'm unsubscribing and so on. It's just to have a little bit of fun. There's a backstory to it. I've explained it many times before. But despite the fact that things are crazy, we have to be silly sometimes. We have to joke around sometimes. We have to be fun with it and just to be a little lighthearted. Okay? That's all. That's all. Money GPS, do you think that the stock market would be as high as if it wasn't for the free trading apps such as Robinhood? Does it actually make a difference? Yeah, like, okay. So the short answer is the stock market would not be as high, okay, if it wasn't for the retail traders. But the retail traders are basically doing a lot of momentum. So let's go, let GME, okay, let's go AMC, let's go on Clover, Palantir, like all these different things. They don't know anything about these companies. They just go all in. But then you have their trades being sold off to Citadel and others, high frequency traders that are front running all of their trades and making a real profit. So how that works, and that's why this has been going on. So the hedge funds, they're looking for plays. They don't care if it's not a good company tomorrow. Okay, they're going to be in front of those retail traders every single time on the buys, on the sells, and so on. So they're more experienced. They know the drill, and more experienced traders in general. So that's the way I see it. So yes, there's more capital going in. There's no doubt. And there's a lot of margin too. A lot of these traders are using margin. I remember being sent a video about, a guru, one of these online gurus. And one of the first things he said was, if you want to make some money, you want to start with a small amount and you want to make it into a big amount. The best way to do that is to use margin. Or they're going to give you a 4X. 4X. The guy is telling a beginner, straight beginner, that you're going to do 4 times. 4X, why? Why? If you don't even have the experience on one, well, don't worry, because, you can't lose. It's crazy. We need kittens and rainbows in order to forget the chaos. That's exactly right. Exactly right. All right. There is opportunities in chaos. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I just showed that chart of Evergrande right now. Let's say Evergrande turns around and suddenly, they restructure it and so on. And the stock is worth like $1 at this point, 50 cents even at this point. The bonds have been doing terrible. They didn't pay back. Nobody's looking at this stock right now. But let's say the market still has life left in it. For the next 2 years, the market's going to go up in general. Well, what's going to happen? That stock that was at, let me see 1 second. Oh, I don't even have it up anymore. That stock that was at, I don't know, let's say $20 or something. Now it's at 50 cents. So if you buy it at 50 cents or $1 or maybe even $2, and now it becomes $4, which it was for years and years before its run up. You're talking about tripling, quadrupling your money in a potential short period of time. But you would need to know the stability is there. You would need that. And at this point, obviously, we don't, because it looks like it could just straight up fail. But what I'm trying to say is, yeah, there's opportunities. But if you look at George Soros and what he did, so he went into the markets. And when you started to have a crackdown on Chinese tech, Soros went in, he started buying Alibaba, Baidu, and Tencent, I think it was. And he went in there, bought it up, but they kept doing worse. So he sold it off. So even Soros wasn't able to see that. He thought, hey, everybody hates this. Now's the time to buy when there's blood in the streets. But apparently not enough blood. Okay, there's tons and tons and tons of comments. My goodness. Oh, wow. Okay. Just buy a 50-bag dry of beans and rice, easier than a garden. So there's no doubt. Absolutely. But why not have all three? In my opinion, the number one reason to have a garden, to have, food growing in your backyard, this is my opinion, is for the health purposes. That's number one. The second reason is because of preparedness. But that first thing, that's your health. You're growing in your backyard. That's a whole different story. But anyway. Soros has inside info too, you think? Yeah, but even in that case there, he did lose money as far as I'm aware. So you're not going to get every trade. I mean, that's just a matter of fact. People that have been buying into Amazon or what have you, the belief here is that, it can never go down and so on. But we're starting to see some potential. I mean, the run up is insane in these companies. It's doing well though. There's no doubt. Remember, even in the 90s, you've heard Jeff Bezos talk about it before. When the market started to come down, 99, 2000, around that range, the stock was tanking, but the business was actually doing very well. So he said, everything's good. So what? The stock's coming down. That's not something we can control. And that's it. And by the way, if you want one of the best indicators, and I've talked about it 100 times, but I'm going to start mentioning it. Okay, one of the best indicators of a stock's performance in the future is to look at their buybacks. Why? Because they're the biggest buyer of that stock. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm in the middle of a book right now, audiobook, or it's a book, but anyway, audiobook version. And it's like a generic financial, hey, just buy ETFs and so on. But they talk about it, and it's true that you've got to understand the strength that buybacks give a stock. It's just a matter of fact. Now they stop tomorrow, the stock's going to hurt as a result, but they don't necessarily do that. It's beneficial. So anyway, while I think that the buyback money could be used for more productive purposes, if you're doing it as an investor, you're looking at that, hey, they're going to buy back $10 billion worth of stock. That's $10 billion of money flowing in. If that's a regular investor, that would take a long time. So great. So now I know over the next month or whatever, they're going to buy 10 billion. Okay. So you can kind of use that to assess the current price and what happens over the next little while based on that. I see no hope in Evergrande. It's crashing to the ground. It could. I mean, I just don't know how it's going to unfold. It's an extremely big institution, and the failure of some of these companies would be catastrophic. So generally, they do. There's a form of bailout or nationalization. Look at what happened with Fannie and Freddie. It was a complete failure. They're gone. They were just gone, and the government just took them on. So it did fail in a sense, but the government took that on. So the taxpayer ultimately had to foot the bill for that one. But nobody knows what's going on behind the scenes in the government. It's crazy. How deep are foreign investors in Evergrande? Yeah, so I'm gonna give you some more info about that. I'm still learning. I'm still learning about that particular situation. I just did the video that posted this morning about Evergrande, so it takes you kind of from the beginning up until the present. Highly recommend checking it out if you haven't already. It's my most recent post. Definitely check that out. Okay, after this video, I have been going on for 40 minutes. Wow, already 328 people in the house. But I'm going to do more videos on Evergrande, so stay tuned for that. I noticed that it wasn't a very popular video. Not a lot of people wanted to watch it, but I do the videos I think are the most important. I don't do it based on clicks and views and so on. I try to bring the videos which I think, this is the stuff you need to know right now. Even when I know specifically doing the video is going to result in less views, because that's my duty to you. My duty to you is to bring you the truth, the most important thing. I can go on here right now. I can completely change this channel and I can do a very mainstream, I don't want to say the names. There's a few guys, they do their typical, like non-stop bullishness, just invest in Vanguard ETF. You want to know what to do? Hey, invest in the Vanguard ETF, super low fees, here. Here's the news. And at the end of the video, I just tell you invest in the Vanguard ETF and everything's good. So I could do that. The channel would blow up. The channel would blow up. It would do amazing. But that's not going to provide you with what you need to know. Okay, you need to know some of this stuff because ultimately it affects you, and people are going to get really people are listening to that financial advice. You're going to get smacked in the face one day, and then they're going to come at those guys with pitchforks and say, hey, why didn't you warn me about this? Why didn't you tell me? You started warning me 3 days ago. The thing's been falling for 6 months. You told me now was the time to buy as a dip. That's the type of thing that I worry about, okay? Because people, they're not educating them. They're simply just, like a shepherd leading them in and saying, no, don't, come with me, come with me, come with me. But they don't know themselves. All right. By the way, we got 314 people in the house right now. I only see 183 likes. 3,300 people have come in and out of the room. You got to give that like. It's somewhere. Where is it? Somewhere in here, probably. Hit that like button, everybody. Hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that, because when you do that, it tells the algorithm, hey, this is good. Hello, everybody on Instagram. Don't forget to hit that like button. TikTok, hit that like button. We need to know what to buy. Somebody's asking me, hey, you still here? Yeah, Instagram. I'm on YouTube. That's why I'm looking at YouTube. TikTok, I'm looking at my camera up here. I got Facebook, I got Twitter, I got YouTube, I got Instagram over here on this side. I got all of them. You see the green screen? So if you're on YouTube, you would see that. That's why I'm not looking at this camera. So now I'm looking down. I'm ignoring my subscribers up here. I got 300 people in the house on YouTube at The Money GPS. How often are you going to be doing this, you're asking? I do this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the same time. We need to know what to buy, he's saying. We need to know what to buy. Yes, everybody needs to know what to buy, but you got to be educated on why you're buying it, not just what to buy. Look, you want to know what the general truth is? You buy the S&P 500 index, buy Vanguard, you get that, and you just ride the wave. That's it. If you are doing a more of a short-term bet, you could do the 2X. Okay? You don't hold those long-term. That's it. That's what they're going to tell you. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what time? 6 p.m. Pacific time. 6 p.m. Pacific time. Generally. Brick screen. You like that brick? Does anybody want to see the Fed background? What do you want to see? Fed background? I don't have anything really good. I like it so much. I liked it twice. You got to like it thrice. Like it thrice. $4 weeks for the crash. I don't know. There's people talking about how serious this is. Evergrande. Evergrande is a big, big deal. Evergrande is a big deal right now. And I mean, I don't know enough about it because the information coming out of China is locked down. We don't get that much, So, but I try to dig in as much as possible. If you haven't seen my video today, highly recommend it. I'm not just saying that as like a sales pitch. Check it out. Not enough people saw it. So I know that a lot of my subscribers are missing out on that information. You got to understand, I covered everything. I went through so fast, but I was able to hit a lot of data points. I was trying to keep the rambling down to a minimum. I hope you appreciated that. TikTok. Hey, GPS, watch all your videos and thank you for your... Oh, no, this is Instagram. Sorry. Watch all your videos and thank you for your content. What are your thoughts on the U.S. defaulting on the debt by mid-October? I don't think that will be the case at all, though many people have said that. I think that this can go on for quite some time in terms of the debt, in terms of that situation. That's just my opinion. We'll have to see, though. I think it's way too early. Three for me. Background, Jay Powell and Jay Powell. Mr. Jay Powell. It's funny. Is the world about to unravel? Your opinion. I look around the world today and I see a bunch of subservient individuals generally. A lot of subservient individuals. I see a lot of people that, you know, they're buried in information and not even information, like nonsense. You know, people will watch like their typical news channel. I don't know, wherever you live, I'm sure you have it. There's you know, in one corner of the screen it shows you the weather, in another it shows you the traffic, and then it gives you like your headlines. You know, whatever. This happened today, and it's like a generic news. So people are learning their information from like this generic screen from the television that gives information based on headlines. All they get is the headline. And this is like their general knowledge. I've had people tell me, speak to me as if they are knowledgeable on something, later finding out that piece of knowledge came from a sitcom. Now, while it might be true, my goodness, you're not knowledgeable about the situation. You know, there was a topic within a sitcom episode you once saw and now you know about it. Come on, we need to be more humble. Chaz, how are you, Chaz? We need to be more humble. We need to realize that we don't know a lot of stuff. And the more I've dug in, I've been reading for 15 years on these topics. 15 years. And I know very little. I know like scratching the surface, but I try every single day to learn a little bit more, and then I make a video about what I learned. That's what I'm doing here. So to go back to your question, you know, I'm long-winded. Is the world about to unravel? I think it already is. I think it already has been. I think we get little bits and pieces. Like I said earlier, for those who weren't here, I was talking about this. Any bit of information that we know of, we know it only because they allowed it. That's it. Look at what happens in the media today, the social media and the regular financial media and the regular media, whatever. They only tell us things that they want us to know, and then if it's against like their whatever rules or whatever, they just don't touch it. They just ignore it. It didn't happen, and then people don't know about it because they're getting the headlines on their, you know, their news channel, and that's it. Feels like a controlled demolition. It is. It always is. 100%. Do you think the new $3.5 trillion bill will make inflation worse? Yes, I do. I 100% do. However, let me just be clear. Would I rather, if I want to do like a would I rather see the Federal Reserve buying bonds of Apple or fixing bridges and roads? I'm going to say pump the money in, deficit spending, printing, like making that happen to fix the infrastructure is 1,000 times better. But when they tell you we're going to raise taxes on the rich and that's how those roads are going to be paid, it's just a lie. It's just a lie. It's just a lie to you. They're lying to you. Thank you for the support. You're saying that you appreciate me, but I appreciate you and everybody that's here today. Okay, no matter where you are in the world. I thank each and every one of you for taking your time to be with me today. Okay, I'm here Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I try to go for an hour. Initially, when I started doing this, I was going to be a half an hour, but that's clearly not the case. I try to do an hour. We're already at 50 minutes. It's probably going to go longer than that, but I'll stay as long as there's people here, you know? So I'm just trying to do my best. Bring the information, bring the information that you need to know. That's what it comes down to. What's my name? My name is the Money GPS. The Money GPS. You can't tax the rich. Yeah, you can try. But when they say rich, really what they mean is that guy down the street who's got the BMW. He's making 150K a year, 200K a year. Half of that money, or now, and depending on where you are. I mean, the top tax bracket in New York and California is approximately 60%. You work until August to start it. Or, yeah. Like, you're working basically all the way through until July for free. Think about how many days in traffic. Think about your boss doing this and that to you. And all the way through July, all of that time for free. Like it's mind-boggling the level of taxation that's going on right now. The taxes don't need to go higher. They don't. They don't need to be taxed higher on the rich. When you're talking about Jeff Bezos and all these things, it's a totally different story. The taxes go on the middle class. You don't want to tax the guy with the BMW down the street. Okay? That guy spends a lot of money. That guy goes to the restaurant every single week. That guy goes to the supermarkets every week and buys all kinds of stuff. That guy goes everywhere. You don't want to tax the people. You want to figure out why we're spending trillions of dollars in a place like Afghanistan to go find people that don't even exist. And then, you know, you're actually, like, I saw the stat today, and of course I can't cover it on the channel normally. What was it again? Regardless, it's like trillions of dollars have gone to the military contractors since the war in Afghanistan started. So who won? Who won? Was it the people? Are the people free? Are you more free now? Like the people, tell me, people in the US, as a result of what has happened since the early 2000s till today, all that money that they spent, are you more free today than you were back then? Is it the same? Is it who knows? Or is it, yes, absolutely better off today? That money was well spent. You tell me. You can put it right there. Put it right there in the comment section. Let me know. Chaz, thank you. Okay. Do you think Bitcoin adoption will increase around the world in the coming years? It seems like the world will need it more than ever, considering what central banks are doing today. I would love to see more companies accepting it, more companies utilizing it, more countries buying it. If that happens, I see the people going along with it. That's the way I look at it. Will there be more adoption? So if the price collapses tomorrow and we go back down to like $9,000 Bitcoin, I think it'll scare a lot of people off initially. But I kind of think it's inevitable at this point that cryptos in general are going to be they're more normalized. If they bring in these central bank digital currencies, I think it's just like, it's a guarantee almost. Because right now people are kind of like, oh, Bitcoin, oh, that's it's a digital currency. But now if they're using a digital currency, they're forced to use it in their daily life, then they're going to see like a Bitcoin or like whatever is around at the time, 5 years, 10 years from now, they might see like, oh, It's the same thing. Well, this one here has this and this one here has that, and they could like weigh it out, right? It's not a paper anymore. Now they're both in the phone. I could choose to use Bitcoin. I could choose to use the central bank digital currency. Okay. And now maybe I do it this way. But I want to see more adoption from the companies. I want to see more adoption from the businesses accepting it. We already see that, like Visa is doing, PayPal, all these big companies are doing that. That's fantastic. It's extremely bullish. It's extremely good. We want to see that. No matter if you hate Bitcoin, you should say, I want to see it out there more. If you love it, you should say, I want to see it out there more. Okay, competition always is good. Competition is always good. Under any circumstances. We should always view it as being good. Okay, it doesn't have any downsides as far as I'm concerned. And I love the fact that I just love the fact that, we can hopefully get to a point at which more people are utilizing cryptos. Right now, I think a lot of people would simply hold on. But it would be great if everybody is, at least for some things, people are using it. Like, I know a lot of new cryptos that have come up, and think Steemit. Okay, so I don't know if you know Steemit. A lot of people don't know about it, but it's a website. You create content. It works like a YouTube kind of thing. You're posting, and you earn Steem. So you earn their cryptocurrency. Now, in that crypto world, people may not care. I don't care about Steem, let's say. I only care about Bitcoin, but I could trade it out and get some Bitcoin. But the point is that it has an actual function within that system itself, and I could exchange it for what I see as more valuable than the Steem currency. Somebody's going to pay me what they think is valuable for that Steem currency at the time. And that sort of thing. So I hope every platform starts implementing their own cryptos so that people become more accustomed to utilizing it. So if you start to see, let's just say YouTube, suddenly I'm earning YouTube coins, okay? Maybe they don't have a real value within, outside world, but now I'm getting used to that. Like even within its own ecosystem. That's the way I see it. Chaz, I hope that's my long-winded explanation, my answer for you. Oh, yeah. First of all, thank you for the support. Any personal opinion on the Canadian elections? Yeah. Okay, Canadian elections. Okay. Or in the end, politicians will do what they want to do. Look, I can be honest with you. There's not going to be any change. Even if the Conservatives do win, then you don't have to worry because it's all the same. It's all the same. Okay. What we know from the Conservative side is that they're planning on doing every single thing that the Liberal side is doing. In order to win an election, they kind of have to just say, all that stuff that we stand for and this, forget it. Let's just win. So I think so. But in general, elections don't matter. Whoever is the leader, they're chosen. They're always chosen, right? There's no real elections. There's never been a real election in any country, as far as I'm aware. It's just not happening. Anybody who thinks that somebody can slip through and suddenly win, they're deluding themselves. It's an absolute matter of fact. We know that. Many people in crypto are freedom lovers. We have a very diverse portfolio, including precious metals, food, water, energy, land, etc. For a lot of people, that is the case, and I love that because they realize the value in having diversification, and that's great. It's excellent. That's why I left New York and moved to Delaware. Every city is the same, all bad with crime. Might as well move to the one with less tax. A lot of people are getting up and going right now. I think especially with the whole digital nomads and people not working the traditional way that they were even 5 years ago. A lot of people are just saying right now, why am I staying here? And they're just being taxed to death, and they're just picking up and they're going. And I don't see a thing that's wrong with that. I think people should choose where they want to go instead of having this, New York, San Francisco, Miami, whatever. You got these huge centers. The population is just swelling. The prices of everything are just swelling. And then you have other places that people are fleeing. Crime is going up. Poverty is going up. You know, it has to even out. It has to kind of spread around. Things have to change. So I'm hopeful that long term that's a good thing. First of all, thank you for the support. Jacobson, hello. Do you think a market crash is coming in this? So this year, next summer, when the Fed wants the interest rates to rise, could Evergrande be the catalyst? So if Evergrande's a problem, it could be a problem much sooner than we think. That's my guess. Can they contain it? They probably can. But do I think a market crash is coming? So I think a correction's coming this year, but that correction means less than 10%. So I don't necessarily think that we're going to be, knocked off our feet here in this particular year. But could we go sideways? Yeah, I mean, we certainly could go sideways, but they've got a lot of money infused into the market. A lot of people believe, no, the Fed won't taper. The Fed won't taper. But people need to understand the purpose of the Fed, why it exists. I'll say this 1,000 times. The Fed does not exist to push up the markets. The Fed exists to create the boom-bust cycle. In a collapse, the richest people become much richer. But a lot of people that say that they're very inexperienced in history. They don't know the history. What they do is, if you go to any financial advisor, you sit down at their table, they've all got it. At least on the wall or on the table, there's a chart that shows you like the Dow Jones, and it's like 1900 to present, and it's just a straight line upward, right? Everybody has seen it. So don't worry, stocks always go up. And yeah, if you devalue the currency, everything goes up in price. Potatoes go up. Why don't they show a chart of potatoes? Why don't they show a chart of gold? Why don't they show a chart of silver? Why don't they show a chart of wheat? Why don't they show in corn? Why don't they show in, lumber? I mean, why? It's because they make money by selling you stuff. They don't make, if you go and buy gold and stick it in a safe deposit box, you put it under your mattress or dig it up in the backyard, you don't make money. Sorry, they don't make money. You got to remember, these are salesmen, right? So I hope that answers your question. I'm long-winded, but I try to hit like the answer from all different angles. Thank you for the support first, and I will say, I appreciate everybody and their donations. Thank you very much. Is the Fed buying bonds a covert way of debt forgiveness for the big banks and the large hedge funds? In a sense, I do say that is true. In a sense, but they're not reducing their debt, right? Like, it's not like they're buying it off and then they start to wean off the debt. They're just accumulating more. These companies go in serious. Like, look at Apple. Perfect example. Apple is like, what, 2.25 trillion or something ridiculous the last time I looked at it? 2.25 trillion. And they're sitting on whatever, $200 billion of cash or something stupid like this. They're sitting on all this cash. And if they want to do they could buy practically any company in the world with cash. Instead, they do something with debt. They use debt to do something. Why? Because they're borrowing for basically nothing. They can have that cash sitting there in some treasuries or whatever it might be, and it's there for a rainy day. And then they do all their buybacks and all these things with debt. The Federal Reserve is buying it. They've got the perfect scenario. We'll borrow this stuff for cheap. The Fed's going to buy it up, like Pac-Man going around and buying it all up. And they can just sit and wait, do buybacks. They're good. I mean, they just got this, like, it's down packed. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful system. When you are worth $2.25 trillion, everyone in the world wants to throw money your way. When you're the middle class, American, Canadian, somebody from the UK, Australia, New Zealand, whatever, nobody cares about you. They just want to extract every dollar you have and put it into a 401k so that somebody can make money off of you. Whether they're making less than 1% or whether they're making 3% or 4%, they don't, whatever it is, your dollars need to go into their systems somehow. When the house of cards is allowed to fall, it will. Absolutely. Let's see, what do we got right here on Instagram? What do you think of the UFO ETF? Never heard of that one. Adrian, are you still here? Let me see. Adrian. Yeah. So I don't talk about that issue a lot, but to answer your question, there are no anomalies. That was not an anomaly. Maybe it wasn't the intention day one, but certainly that was allowed to happen. It did a great job, actually. If you think about it in the end, looking back now, the globalist elite are just, they took advantage of it so much. It was incredible. It really furthered their agenda. Absolutely. Appreciate it. Try to do my best to answer the questions. The chart of potatoes. Yeah. Show the potato chart. The Spuds ETF. I'm going to create a Spuds ETF. Lays. I'm going to call it Lays. None of my stocks are going up. Only the one I watch and have no money to go up, not the ones I own, LOL. I'm cursed when it comes to making any real money. Well, what most people do, to be honest with you, and I'm not giving you any advice, what most people do is they simply buy the Vanguard ETF of the S&P 500 and they just let it ride. That's what people are doing. By the way, I looked up financial advice. So I thought to myself, how are these YouTubers getting away, and TikTokers getting away with giving financial advice? It's not because they have a disclaimer. There's something else going on. And I looked it up, and actually you're legally allowed to give financial advice as long as you don't kind of lie to people about it. Like you say, oh, this is the best stock ever. I got inside information. It's going to do this, this, and that. You're allowed to that. You're allowed to recommend the stocks. You're allowed to talk about it. I looked it up. I couldn't believe it. I looked up multiple sources. I didn't realize that was the case. So that's why they're doing this. Making a lot of money. All these guys, young guys, they're very, very green. Instead of investing, they went to Reddit and all this stuff and they learned about it. And as they were learning, they just made videos pretending that they were very knowledgeable about the subject. And as they made money on their YouTube, TikToks, whatever, they started putting money into their accounts. And then they even show their accounts sometimes. A lot of that's fake actually, but some of them is real. But where did the money come from? It came from basically their business. Absolutely, Jay. Will do. Will Western banks be hit by Evergrande and Unravel? That's the question. We don't know precisely yet, but I am looking into that situation right now. Michael Burry posted on his Twitter. If you guys want to check it out, before I can even get that to you, I was here. If you guys were here a little while ago, I was talking about that, showing you what Michael Burry had highlighted, but I wanted to read it all. It's huge. It's a huge thread. So I need to read it all. We'll see. Essentially talking about Evergrande, the whole situation. So Stay with me. I'll try to bring you more information about it. A lot of people didn't watch that video that I posted this morning about Evergrande, but highly recommend it. If you have the time, please check it out because there's so much detail in there. It gives you like what is Evergrande, gives you the beginning, brings you right through. 15 minutes, you'll be caught right up to speed. Thank you again for the support. Do you think buying land is a good idea now, or in the end will be taxed to death to own that land? I think it's a great idea. If you're worried about the taxes, as in the property taxes, look for a piece of land that sometimes they already have it, but they may just not know about it. If it has a river or a stream, or it's on the lake, or for some reason, there's different reasons, that it's kind of like you have to protect the land, then they actually will give you your tax back. Okay, you can look this up. So in my playlist, I believe it's in my how to and solutions playlist. It says something like how to get land for free, something like this, one of those videos. So go to my YouTube, go to the playlists, you see how to and solutions, click in there, and I believe it's the video in there that says something like how to get land for free. And there's another option as well, is that if you buy land and it has some sort of livestock on it. In some areas, literally one chicken is enough to be considered to be agriculture, and or I forget the term they use, something like agriculture or whatever. And then there's also another option, which is having a agriculture business. So like you sell crops, but the amount of money that you need to make in a year is something small, like $7,000. $7,000 of sales is really small. Okay, all of that qualifies you to get a rebate at the end of the year, tax rebate, because you're providing a service to the community. You don't have to be a farmer. You understand? So you get the land, you make it work with the rules, the way the rules are there. You do it all legitimate, and then you take advantage of it. Yeah, they're going to charge you, let's say, $50,000. Let's say it goes crazy and you're paying $50,000 for that land property tax. There's a rule, you're going to get that back, right? So there's like, think about that, okay? And look at the rules. Maybe it's not in your city, maybe it's not in your county, even your province or state or wherever you are. Look around. There's an area that may be desirable to you where you can make this happen. So you could be paying potentially a lot of the case. So it's either get all of your property tax back, or in some cases it was 75%. Every area is different. Look up the rules. Check that out. I'm telling you, that's huge. Hope that answers your question. Absolutely, Chris. I appreciate you coming in today and every day. We got 300 people in the house. I want to thank everybody for being here. What do we got? We got 5,300 people have come in and out of here. Make sure you hit that like button somewhere down here. Hit that like button, guys. We've been going for an hour and 12 minutes. Who's been with me since the beginning? Let me know. Hit that button. Hit that button to let me know. Don't forget to hit that like button as well. All right. Some countries have, some countries have no property tax, but like Cayman Islands just being one of them. You look at a lot of these other ones, and a lot of them are crypto friendly. Okay, so you might be aware of that. Okay, that's huge. Chaz, if you're still in the house, I know you know about that. So there's a lot of people that are going to Puerto Rico, not because it's it's a lower taxes. People are tired of the taxes. Really, I mean, is it really fair that if somebody is let's say a doctor or a surgeon or what have you, and they're earning 250 grand, and they went to school for a long period of time, they really worked hard, they're providing a service. Like if somebody's a brain surgeon, they're providing an incredible service for the community, and you're going to take 60% of their income and you're going to give it to the military industrial complex? I mean, is that the logic that we have? The vast majority of our taxes, all of that money you pay, whether your tax is 60%, whether it's 50, whether it's 20, whatever it is, the vast majority of it doesn't go to the roads, the bridges, and the infrastructure. It goes to the special interest groups, the special interest groups. Please understand that I have been doing this digging for 15 years. I have been on this. My channel doesn't grow like all the rest. If I would have been doing this channel, doing, the way that the world wanted me to, let's say, the channel was 10 years, a video every day. But because of the suppression and because, quite frankly, a lot of people don't want to know about the real truth, they just want to know about, maximum appreciation and so on. The channel didn't grow, but I want to bring you what you need to know. I want to talk about Evergrande. I want to talk to you about the unraveling that's happening. I don't want to tell you that you need to buy a Vanguard ETF because the stock market always goes up. You can learn that from TikTok. You can be on a 15-second video on TikTok and you can get that message. You don't need to hear it from me. When will the system crash? I think we're in a slow motion crash and can't even see it. Yeah, so the system, the economy, it's already failed. The economy's already failed. They printed so much money on the Federal Reserve side. At the exact same time, they were doing their stimulus, infrastructure, and so on. Between the two, we went far, far beyond anything ever in history. Far, far beyond it, and the economy still isn't strong. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? The numbers are showing us are not accurate at all. GDP growth, jobs numbers, none of them. Don't you find it weird? Every single person looking for a job today can get a job. Yes, I realize probably not desirable, the hourly wage and whatever. Just look at the numbers. Every single person can get a job, and there is still over 2 million open positions. Now, I was thinking about that today for a minute. Like, what the heck is going on? Just think about that. Everybody who's actively looking for a job gets a job. There are still 2 million open positions. It's just like the same thing with the real estate, where suddenly, I read a stat, in the US, we need 5 million new homes to be built to satisfy the demand. You've had 0 immigration for over a year and a half. Did these people, where do they come from? Another planet? Did they materialize? Were 5 million babies suddenly born and needed houses to live in? Like, the stats don't add up, guys. The stats don't add up. I'm getting flustered, but what I say, like that doesn't make sense. Think about it. That doesn't make sense. All of these numbers I'm putting together doesn't make sense. And people are talking about it like as if it's one way or the other, but I'm looking at that in a different way. I actually realize, like, you see those two things and you think to yourself, like, where do these millions of people come from? Like, something's broken in the actual statistics. That's the way I see it. Thank you for the support. Some U.S. neurosurgeons train in the military. Sure, absolutely. I'm just not supportive of that institution in general, at all. So that's just the way I see it. Anyway. Someone's cooking the books. Online drop shipping. And YouTubers, yeah, a lot of people talking about that. A lot of them. So what happens with people creating courses is they try to do it on their own. They don't do very well, but they have some experience, so they create a course. the course becomes definitely more successful than their attempt at the drop shipping or Amazon or Forex trading or whatever. And then they become known as like that person because they got the notoriety around it. They use fake accounts, they use all kinds of stuff. I've seen it all. But you can have success in that. I mean, I've seen people who have real success doing these kind of things. So thanks, Money G. The roads are crumbling in California, but if you criticize the taxes, they will say you don't want roads. But yeah, it's true. Look at the infrastructure project. I mean, you're going to see, like, if you see the breakdown, and I've shown the charts before on the channel, if you've been around for a while, you know. The money that goes in, literally for every dollar of taxes, just a few pennies are actually being used to the roads, to the infrastructure. You're seeing infrastructure. Oh, look, GPS. It says it right there. It says $100 billion for roads. See? $100 billion for roads. But if you understand the roads, then you see how the breakdown is and the actual amount of money that's spent on the road and on the paying of the employees that are making that and on the materials. You start to realize, wait a minute, there's a lot of administration above that before it gets to that level. Okay? And the simple matter of fact is most of the money just doesn't get down there. It's like this funnel effect. And by the time it gets down, you get a little drip coming out. It's just the way it is. Banks have closed doors and access to cash has been an issue. Fact. It can happen again and again. Disaster situation. Yeah. I mean, they're clearly going away from the cash. It's a cashless society that's coming. They want to track everything. They have made this known. Janet Yellen has said it a million times. The reason people use Bitcoin cryptos is for illicit transactions. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Especially, it's so funny because you're seeing Janet Yellen coming out. She says that. And then the government is saying, if you had cryptocurrencies and they appreciated, you got to tell us and then you got to pay taxes on them. What? What? You're telling us that this stuff is bad. You're telling us that it's being used for money laundering and all this kind of stuff. At the same time, you're saying, well, if it appreciated, then, yeah, that's government for you. It's government. GME. Yes. GME. I'm not sure why there's still enthusiasm around it. I know I upset a lot of people. GME and AMC and all of these other things, they're really being actively traded by the retail trader who had bought in probably in January, saw the rise up, hoping that this thing is going to go to the moon. I've even seen a lot of people that have suggested if the market crashes, this will make GME worth millions of dollars or whatever. I don't know why that's been said. The short squeezes and this and that. They do these gimmicks. We're going to start accepting Bitcoin. Like it's just a gimmick, guys. Come on. What I think people should be getting and realizing, like if you're talking the stock world, not in other assets, that people should look into quality companies that have a little bit more certainty around them. That's all. It's not that you shouldn't put money into that. I mean, if you want to put money, you put money into it. But don't, like a lot of people just went all in and they put all their savings and they just thought, if I win like these other guys, you've seen people that made 10x on their money, and it's just fantastic. I mean, it's awesome if they sold. Let's make this channel go viral. Share with your friends. Yes. And the easiest thing that you can do to support any channel is to simply give a thumbs up. That supports the channel. Thank you again for your support. Do you think China is free? They have such a strict restrictions to enter. Will they take over and become a superpower? So the answer to your first question is definitely not, because the numbers. If you remember what happened with the numbers initially, they were going straight up and then they just went sideways. Probably maybe this way I should do it. So it was going like straight up and then it went like this and then there wasn't one case. Okay, just went sideways. So I don't believe that, obviously. In relation to the second question, will they take over and become a superpower? I believe the answer is it's unavoidable at this point. Will they have like crashes and really big problems along the way? 100%. 100%. I believe that personally. So, we'll see what happens. They're just, I mean, I talked about it. I think that was, the video that I posted this morning, maybe? Yeah, I think it was that one. Watch that video if you haven't already, because I covered this specifically. So you definitely want to take a look. I think it was towards the end. AMC lover in the house. Not gloom and doom, but realistic. Look, brother, I'm not trying to score points, but I can take a step back and see the fraudulent system and the constant lies in the media. I agree. I completely 100% agree with you. I'm up 8K on my GME. I'm still in. Good stuff. I hope it goes up more for your sake. I'm not kidding about that. All right, I'm going to stay for just a couple more minutes. I'm going to take off. We're almost at an hour and a half, I believe. Yeah, 126. Good stuff. Good stuff. Tomorrow, I've got already, so I haven't even dug into what Michael Burry has said. I might have to make a second video. And I already have like 25 tabs open. I mean, it's crazy. The amount of information that's coming through is like impossible to keep up with. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be making a few changes to the channel. I have been making a few changes, I should say. And I'm going to continue just tweaking, molding, and creating new things. In the next month or two, every single video is going to have tips in it. The end of the video will be tips. So you're going to leave every video, if you stay to the end, it's always going to be at the end on purpose, to give people 5 tips related to that subject. I think this is going to be huge because you're going to get the news, but then you're also going to get some tips. Now, maybe, you're going to see those tips repeated every so often, but it's good to hear things in repetition. I believe, personally for me, I love repetition. Just like you're working out the gym. You don't do a bicep curl. You want to get your biceps in shape. You do one curl and then, you put it away. No, you've got to repeat that over and over and over again. You got to do thousands and thousands of repetitions to start to see the benefits of it. And that's just the way I am. All right. What do we got here? David, do you think that government will get rid of physical dollar banknotes? They stopped to print physical banknotes in 2017. Do you think it will gradually decrease? Or they will just... yeah, so I think that it's going to go to a central bank digital currency. I think they can get people to accept this digital currency by implementing universal basic income through it. Do I think that we're going cashless? Absolutely. I think we're going to a cashless society, and it could be implemented on many levels. They simply, like right now, a lot of places that, they don't want to accept banknotes. And I understand from a business perspective, if you give me cash, I now need to take that envelope and I need to go to the bank at the end of the night. That's not very fun for an employee to be having the responsibility. First of all, they're carrying around, or whatever it is, $500, $1,000 to a bank. They got to deposit it. That's not fun, right? So if it's all digital, it's just simply, accounting, do a few things, check the balances at the end of the night, and you're all good. So I understand from that point of view. But, we'll see. We got some more super chats here. I missed where I think there was 2. Thank you for the support. I want to invest, but I'm thinking of waiting for the market to crash and then invest. Do you think it'd be wise to do that? There's always something to invest in at any moment. Right now, we're still seeing commodities that are going up every single day. Basically every single day commodities are rising. Now you saw iron ore coming down. You never know. Look at what happened with lumber. Lumber went straight up, came back down. So there's potential for everything to lose. But if you, like, generally, commodities have risen considerably. Look at Chinese tech stocks. They're getting pounded to the ground. So it's not everything. But you can make money in a down market too. So if you think that, for example, Chinese tech stocks are going to do poorly over the next week, why not get into something that shorts Chinese tech stocks, hold it for 1 week, and sell it off? You can still make money in that way. But you got to do swing trading, okay? If you learn about swing trading, you could learn that from Profit Market. Profit Market, I did an interview with him about 2 months ago or so, maybe more now, time flies. But Profit Market, I did an interview with him and he explains all this, okay? And you check out his channel and you get some knowledge from that. And thank you for the support, of course, by the way, as always. Appreciate that. Maxim, big fan. Keep it up, Dave. Tell us the data. 4 in the morning here. Yes. Now that's a hardcore GPS supporter. 4 in the morning on the live. I'm going to be here. We have now gone over an hour and 30. I'm going to be here tomorrow night again. You can catch me there if you're interested. As always, I'm going to bring the details to you. If you haven't seen the video today, I talked about Evergrande, and I think I got to talk about it again based on the information that I just saw. Not a lot of people were interested in it, but I just have to bring you what I think is most important. So stay tuned for that. What do we got here? TikTok asking more. Let's see. Paying taxes is like giving money to charity. It goes to fine. Yeah, I agree. All right, good stuff. Okay. Just going to see if there's any more questions. Thank you for the truth. Yes, yes, yes. All right, good stuff. I'm going to take off. All right, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that, guys. Good stuff. Okay. Check it out. If you haven't seen the video already today that I posted this morning, take a look. Highly recommend it. It's about Evergrande and it's a big deal. There's more information coming. I will release that to you as soon as I can. Thank you, everybody, wherever you are in the world, for being here today. I appreciate all the support and take